Oh my gosh, I'm really starting. Yikes! Oh goodness. Wow, okay. Hey guys, so I'm coming to you from my friend's treehouse in Florida. I'm staying with her for a little while, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to do a little sit-down video and show you some of the resources that I've been utilizing to plan my CDT thru hike. I've only ever done the Pacific Crest Trail, so planning for the CDT feels pretty new and intimidating, but I've found a lot of cool resources, and I thought that I would go over them with you. So this is the Continental Divide Trail Coalition's website. The CDTC's website was the primary resource I used to learn about the trail and what to expect from a thru hike. It provides loads of information on everything from history to permits to trip planning. I really liked exploring this website when I was first trying to gather information on the CDT, because it has pretty much everything. They made something called the Atlas of the CDT, and it's something you can purchase. It says it's an exploration of the trail and its corridor through thematic maps, infographics, and narratives of the landscapes and communities connected by the CDT. And I found all the information in this really interesting, and they give you kind of a little glimpse into what the Atlas actually is and what the information that it holds if you purchase and download it. I found this native lands page really interesting, and the watersheds page really interesting. Ecosystems, fire, parting of the waters. So definitely worth a download, and just to even read through what's free and available on their website is interesting. They have trip planning resources, so CDT planning guide, CDT map set, Southern Terminus shuttle, which they're not running this year, the water report, CDT data, closures and notices, history of the CDT, and gateway communities like under Explore the Trail. And then you can also get to know who the CDTC is and what they do, and you can get involved, news and events, volunteer, donate, and store. So I highly recommend coming to this page if you're thinking about doing a Continental Divide Trail thru hike. Next, we'll take a look at Postholer.com. This is a very, very awesome resource for the snow conditions and for trip planning. That's what I've used. And they have lots of other resources, a lot of other resources, like a gear builder. I primarily have been using it for snow conditions, research, and then also my actual timeline, planning, if I start this date, when will I get to the snow? So if you click on snow conditions and then you click on Continental Divide Trail snow, you can scroll down and see the snow data for the entire trail. I haven't really paid attention too much to that. I usually just go straight down to the Carson San Juan National Forest snow season probabilities. Right now it's 22% below normal, 78% normal, and 0% above normal. So this map here shows the snow depth in inches along the trail. This next map also does the same. Okay, and then you scroll down and you get down to these graphics with the snow water equivalent in inches for different years, and this first one is for miles, so mile 735 to mile 977. and it gives you the average 2018, 2008, and 2021. The next two, snow water equivalent in inches. It's just based on date. So you can see that in the green, this is 2021, and today is March 16th. So it's a little bit below average if this black line is the average from 2004 to 2019. You can see that in 2008 there was a really high snow year, and then in 2018 there was a really low snow year. So I have found this helpful to kind of say, okay, it's the middle of March. If it, say, follows the average route, which it is pretty closely following now, even though it's just below, then by, you know, late June, there will be no more snow left on the ground. So this has kind of helped me see, okay, if I start, you know, like mid-April, late April, early May, when will it be likely that the snow will be gone by the time I reach the snowy areas, which is at mile 735 to 977. This third graphic also shows that pretty much the same thing as the second graphic, except it's just all the years laid out in different colors rather than just like the highlighted least, most, and average, and then current. So this one's interesting because some years just follow completely unique paths. Like if you look at 2019, it's kind of like this like maroon brown line. It looks like it's pretty average all the way until like, you know, early March. It's just barely above average, but really quickly by the middle of March it's way above average, and then it just sticks around for a really long time. So seeing this graph kind of has made me see that, like, oh wow, like the snow conditions really aren't very predictable, and I might feel like it's definitely going to be average or it's going to be low, but really it could dramatically change like next week. If we continue down, we can also get an idea of the snow levels in the Bob Marshall National Forest. I have not looked at this too much because the Bob Marshall National Forest is like basically at the end. Other thing you can do is come over here to the left and toggle down to trip planners, and Postholer.com also has information for the Pacific Crest Trail and the Appalachian Trail, but looking at the Continental Divide Trail, it allows you to choose your trail, put in a start date, or a location that you will arrive at by a date, and you can like save it. You can create a profile on Postholer.com and then save your different plans. You can input a start location and end location, and you can request that the planner show significant roads, shelters, and trailheads. The other thing you can do is input your pace. So either record pace, like super fast, or very, very relaxed, or average. And you can just hit update plan. And then if you scroll down, you can see the Continental Divide Trail Plan 2021. And here it has us starting at the US-Mexican border on April 21st. This is just for an example. And the first resupply point is Lordsburg. So over here on the left is a list of all of the places where you can go into town and resupply. It has a place where you can make notes. Then you can see trail mile, so mile 00, and then Lordsburg is at mile 84.8. The next resupply point is at Silver City, New Mexico, which is at 143 miles. The next column is arrive and depart. Then trip mile, so trail mile and trip mile are the same, it looks like. Then they have total days based on your average or your hiking speed. So it's only going to take 4.3 days to hike from the border to Lordsburg if I'm going 19.7 miles per day on average. So then you can also see miles from last. So the first section is 84 miles. The next resupply section is only 58 miles. And the section miles is also the same. Then section days. So how long is it going to take for each section based on my section miles per day. Section rating and zeros/neros. So you can input like, okay, I'm not taking a 0 here. I'm taking 2 zeros here or whatever. And it will update everything right on this page. So this has been most helpful in pairing with the snow report, because I could say, okay, when will I arrive to where the snow like kind of begins, which is around mile 700, I think. So you can kind of see like, okay, I'm supposed to arrive around June 8th if I start on April 21st. So then I could go back to the snow report. Let's just go ahead and do that. Snow conditions, Continental Divide Trail snow report. So by June 8th, that's like here, if the green line, you know, follows the average, even if it follows the most high, like I should be pretty good. There shouldn't be too much snow. It looks like it would be around 5 inches of snow, which seems pretty good. That's primarily how I used Postholer.com. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention about Postholer.com, which is so cool, is the Continental Divide Trail Google map. Oh my goodness, this is so cool. I have been totally geeking out over this. I really liked to do the satellite map, and then I liked to choose resupply and then zoom in. Seeing the resupply points on full satellite maps, I felt like was really helpful in just putting a place to the name. So like knowing that, okay, I can see Pie Town is right here, and that is at mile 405. So I found that really helpful. And just very, very cool. There are other things that you can have the map show you. I could zoom in a little bit more so you can see. So like this is the start, and then it goes all the way up here, 84 miles to Lordsburg, and then another 58 to Silver City. And then the next one is, I don't even know, Winston. Haven't heard about Winston yet. So you can see all the different places you can resupply. Found that super helpful. And oh yeah, the other thing I was going to say is under the settings, instead of resupply, you can look and see where, you know, a spring is, a creek. You can see where the pass or a gap, I think there are only gaps on the Appalachian Trail. So you can see where the pass is, a canyon or a valley, a summit, a trail section. There's like lots of different things that can be highlighted on this Google Maps trail map. And you can also, you know, input the U.S. Forest Service trails and lots of different options here. So I found this very, very super cool. I was excited about discovering this. I mean, I know I can see the whole thing on GutHook, which is the app that I'm gonna use with my map, but I just really liked the Google Maps version. So the next resource I've been using is the halfwayanywhere.com resource. This site is so cool. This guy, Mac, has created this website. It says a collection of stories, guides, photos, videos, and mostly incoherent ramblings, I can relate to that, from my hikes, travels, and adventures across the world. So he does surveys, like a PCT survey, PCT gear guide, PCT resupply guide, CDT survey, CDT gear guide, CDT resupply guide. And so these are all surveys that he puts out to the current class, and then he gets people to fill them out, and then he gathers all this information and kind of goes through it and writes about it. So the Continental Divide Trail survey was very interesting, and you can see the survey in general, the gear survey, resupply survey, or stories. I haven't read those, and I don't really want to, but maybe I will, we'll see. Hiker advice and past CDT surveys. I utilized this CDT resupply guide for my strategy. I am not going to do very many boxes, but I am going to do some boxes. And this survey just kind of goes through like let's see this first little graphic. Number of resupply boxes sent. So 47.4% mailed some resupply boxes. Mailed 23.7% mailed most resupplies. 13.2 mailed no resupply boxes. That's kind of like my arena. I really like not doing resupply boxes. That's what I liked on the PCT. I did some, but only when I had to. But I'm also vegan this year, or like this trail. I went vegan in 2018, and so I'm a little nervous. I was pescatarian on the PCT, so it was easy to eat tuna and cheese and chocolate. And now I'm not eating any of those except for dark chocolate and fake tuna, but those are harder to come by. So yeah, I used the survey to decide, I think, let me scroll down to where, so like where to mail CDT resupply boxes. And I'm just going to mail resupply boxes to the most highly recommended resupply places. So I think that would be Pie Town and Doc Campbell's, Monarch Mountain Lodge and Twin Lakes, Encampment, Brooks Lake Lodge, Atlantic City, Lima, Lador, Benchmark, Wilderness Ranch. I'm also going to be mailing them from the trail and not from home, except for the first one, I think. I still have to figure that out. Yeah, so Halfway Anywhere, definitely awesome. Awesome resource. You will get sucked in and be reading for hours. But yeah, it's good because it's a lot of information, and when you're going into something so big and so unknown, it's good to like feel comforted by getting a lot of information, even if like you might not retain it all. It can also help you like pick out your gear and kind of get an idea of what pass-through hikers have used for gear and their recommendations. You can also look at their blog. These look super fun. So lots of things on Halfway Anywhere, and highly recommend utilizing this resource. Another resource I used was the Facebook page, the Continental Divide Trail Class of 2021. People have just been posting on that for the past few months, talking about their start date and posting questions, and it's a good place to go if you have one question you want to ask, or if you just want to look through other people's questions and get an idea of what other hikers are thinking about and planning. And I guess the last resource I'll mention is friends that have hiked in previous years. It's been nice to hear what stood out to them and some of the things that I should keep in mind based on their experience. So basically, from all these resources, I've been able to decide to go northbound. That I think that the snow levels seem like they're going to be decent enough to start like in April sometime. I have picked a start date. I also figured out how to get to the Southern Monument, which is a flight into Tucson, a bus into Lordsburg, and a shuttle to the monument, and then a hotel in Tucson and a hotel in Lordsburg. So lots of little things that I was able to book recently and feel like, oh my gosh, I'm really starting. And also I was able to figure out the permit situation. That's the other thing that was helpful from the CDTC's website, was the permits. I think I forgot to go over that, but the only permit I need to get at this moment is the New Mexico state land permit. And then when I get to the other areas that need a permit, I can just get them a couple weeks leading up to the time, or as a walk-up. I'm gonna have to figure that out as I go. I can't get them now, so that's why I haven't like figured out exactly how I'm gonna do it. I just kind of have a general vague idea with the other permits. So anyways, I got my permit for New Mexico to be camping and backpacking through the state, and I've also been able to decide on a resupply strategy. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you didn't know about these resources, definitely check them out. They definitely help you build confidence and awareness and help you do the thing. So until next time, bye guys.